Once you know what is electrometer, now what cautions are to be taken for designing electrometers is very, very easily understood. Now basically electrometer is having very high input impedance to help small values of current measurements. Also to see to it that the loading of the blocks which are used before and after the conditioning stage. So it minimizes the loading effect on both sides by increasing the input impedance and reducing the output impedance. And this is a very, very important thing when you actually sit with hardware circuits. Because due to loading, small currents cannot be measured at all. Small currents cannot be amplified because they get lost in the impedance. If the input impedance is very high, then the entire current which is under measurement is made to flow through the required circuit. So there is no loss of the voltage happening in the device. Now for this, what care should be taken? Because these resistors are also not ordinary, the ones which are used in improving the input impedance. It could be a capacitor. In one of the cases we have seen how a shunting capacitor is used for electrometer. In one of the cases a series resistor is used. So here high impedance circuits require attention to resistors or the insulations which are used in the capacitors or even the cables which are used. What should be the length of these cables and how they should be manufactured to maintain their resistance. So high value resistors are basically of the type what? Carbon or metal oxide with ceramic substrate. Now whatever our color coded resistors, they are made up of what? Either carbon powders or in some cases some wire wound resistors are also there. If you are making use of these, then the power losses are very, very high because they are going to draw some at least current. So due to this, our measurements are not going to be accurate. So usually in electrometers, carbon or metal oxide resistors are used with ceramic substrate. Now always the ceramic substrate is very, very important whenever the temperature effects are to be minimized. Because ceramic is one such substance where it does not absorb the humidity or humid conditions also it withstands. Plus, it does not get heated up very easily. So for both the conditions, in humid conditions also and in high temperature conditions also, ceramic is a good one which does not absorb, and because of this the capacitance is getting affected or the resistance is getting affected. Such issues will not arise. So whenever the carbon or metal oxide resistors are used for high impedance circuits, always they are mounted on ceramic substrate to minimize the temperature effects. Plus, on top of this, glass encapsulation is also done, which prevents humidity from entering in contact with the resistive elements. That means all these resistors or capacitors which are used in the conditioning network or in the electrometer circuit, they are encapsulated by glass such that the humid or the high temperatures will not have any impact on them, hence reducing its resistance. So these things, high humidity, when it is used, it reduces the resistance or the sensitivity basically. Sensitivity of the resistor is reduced by either coating it with humid conditions, it gets rusted. So naturally the metal oxide which is used or the carbon which if it reacts with the water or water vapor, naturally its resistance will change. So you have calibrated it for some value, but now due to change the metal oxide when it reacts with H2O or carbon when it reacts with H2O, the resistance changes because the chemical composition is changing. So as a result of this, your calibrations go wrong. So the impedances also go wrong. So the electrometer functioning will get affected. So they have to be of high quality like this and on the ceramic substrate, plus they should be encapsulated in glass envelopes. High quality dielectrics are needed in electrometer circuits. Now high quality dielectrics means the dielectric functioning basically is affected by the absorption of water vapor. This is what we have studied in our capacitive thin film uh, humidity sensors, where humidity is sensed by the absorption level of this dielectric, how much vapor it is absorbing. So these dielectrics here, they should be carefully chosen such that they don't absorb moisture very easily. Even though they are encapsulated, but still if there is any possibility of moisture in the vicinity, these high quality elements or the material which is used in dielectrics should be very good such that it does not absorb the humid conditions. Now this is regarding the materials which are used. Now apart from these material, there are other factors which are considered. Once you use them, now we have studied the shielding or grounding. So the shielding and all, when we use them, the potentials which the shields are maintained, they have to be again properly maintained. There should not be any fluctuation in these voltages. If there is any fluctuation happening in these voltages, naturally the amplifier which is again provided with a similar voltage, there the offsets will go wrong or the bias currents may change. In spite of regularly calibrating them and reducing the offset to zero, plus reducing the bias currents to normal, there may be some potential variation happening if the reference voltages are not maintained properly. So to maintain these reference voltages at appropriate levels, proper connections are to be made with the amplifiers which are used. So the guard potential to drive the amplifier can be internally connected to appropriate pin. Here in the circuit, you can see these are the guards. So they are connected to this potential. See, there is a case, there is a guard. So all of them are maintained. You can see here, case is connected to ground and the same casing potential is connected to this guard. Also, there is a block here that is also guard. So they have to be maintained properly. And the same amplifier is also connected to the same potential. Pin number 3 is connected to the same potential. That means all the references should be maintained properly. This is what we take care in our labs also, where the ground potential, all of them will check again and again, grounding. So similarly here also in electrometers, this care has to be taken. So the reference potentials have to be properly maintained. Now the next parameter is capacitor selection. Now whenever you select the capacitor, capacitor has two metal contacts or metal plates, two connecting leads which are separated. The two plates which are into capacitive action are separated by a dielectric. Now here the care has to be taken to see that all these parameters, the dielectric constant plus the plate area, the plate which are used to form the capacitance, their area plus their, when they are exposed to humid conditions or high temperatures, their resistance or their humidity absorption capacity should be as minimum as possible, due to which the overall capacitance should not get affected. So the area of the capacitor has to be maintained properly, plus the resistance of these plates have to be maintained properly. This is possible by maintaining whatever is the earlier area when the calibration was done. Plus the dielectrics, they have to be properly shielded so that they are not exposed to either high temperatures or even humid conditions. Plus the leakage resistance of these must be high. Now what exactly this leakage resistance means is, whenever there is any surge of current, the current, whatever is the additional current, that is the leakage current, if the resistance is high, what will happen? It will flow through to the ground, not through the device. It will not have any impact on this capacitance if it is flown through the to the ground, not through the device. So the leakage resistance must be high so that it does not permit these currents to flow through it. And their dielectric absorption must be low. This whatever we discussed now. Absorption of this humid conditions or the water vapors must be as low as possible. So for this, Teflon, polypropylene, polystyrene, these are the dielectric materials which are used in the capacitors. So for high-end applications where the cost is not a barrier, only precision is the requirement, highly sensitive and such material are used. And for less demanding applications, mica or polyester are used. Mica is commonly used even in lab conditions. So all the laboratory type experiments or wherever the prototypes are built. Now, all of you know what are prototypes? Prototypes are the ones which are used or built to test the similar conditions, like a simulator. Hardware side, the prototypes are built, they are tested, and then they are implemented with the help of a bigger versions. So all our Arduino boards or Raspberry Pi boards are used generally to build the prototypes. Once the prototype works satisfactorily, then you upgrade the scale to higher end applications or real-time applications where instead of these whatever Atmel microcontroller, whatever is there on the Arduino board, instead of that you start thinking of ARM processor or a better higher end processor where the real life applications can be controlled or monitored. So for all such less demanding means building the prototype or laboratory type or simple testing ones. So for all such, mica and polysters are used. So regarding resistors, guards or the reference potentials and the capacitors, these are the care which have to be taken. So here how the guards are connected to common potential, you can see. Next. Now this is regarding the components used. Now the next parameter is how the circuit should be built or laid. Now the external components, okay, once you ensure that the capacitors used are of proper appropriate quality, even the resistors are of appropriate quality, plus the guard which are used or the metal heat sinks or the cases which are used are all properly grounded or shielded. Once that is done, now inside that, how the circuit should be laid. Now usually the care is taken here to see that two heat dissipating elements are not kept adjacent to one another. Where elements are not kept adjacent to one another, where the higher level of power dissipation is happening in one element, adjacent to that another one is not placed like that with similar characteristics, without shield or without providing a precautionary measure to prevent that heat from coming out into ambience. So there will be a fan or a heat sink is provided with that, with the help of guard or shield. That temperature is dissipated, or indirectly another case of shielding is heated, and that is left to ambience, not directly to the adjacent or the neighboring component. So for this, some care has to be taken. How exactly it is done? First, the amplifier must be placed as close as possible to the signal source. So the first care is main basic amplifier, the main amplifier what we call, because we are using different components here. One may be simply to level shift the op amp, but the main amplifier has to be kept near the signal source. Next point is connecting wires must be carefully selected. See, all the connecting lead resistances, whatever you say, how much ever you say that okay, they are ideal, they are zero resistance, no heat factors, no power dissipation. Still, if their length is more, definitely they are going to have impact on the overall measurement in the circuit or overall system performance. Definitely these connecting leads are going to have some impact. So these connecting wires must be carefully selected. The best wires are rigid. There are no cuts in them, and then the soldering is done, or what we do know usually the twisting of two wires. Such things should not be done with electrometers, because even the simple twisting or connecting them through relay, all those things have additional resistance added, or sometimes the loose connections happen. So this will have some impact on the overall impedance of the electrometer circuit. So the best wires are rigid with a shield connected to the guard. That means all of them should be shielded ones. And these shielded ones have to be connected to the reference potential. Connected to the guard means guard is again connected to some reference point. It could be even zero potential ground also. So they have to be properly shielded. They have to be guarded. Then use high quality insulating material. By using high quality insulating material, the power which is dissipated because of the insulation will not affect the neighboring resistors or neighboring circuits. And they should be free of any piezoelectric effect. Now, piezoelectric effect, we all know, it is basically the vibrations generating additional signals in the circuit. So this is basically the piezoelectric effect in circuits. So whenever there are mechanical vibrations, they should not induce any noise signal in the circuit or in the measurement system. So as far as the resistors are concerned, they should be carefully chosen in such a way that they are properly shielded and guarded, and the insulation used above them should be of good quality, which does not have any piezoelectric effect. The next common point for all of them is the operating temperature should be as low as possible. This is with any semiconductor device, because the temperatures definitely are the concern here, because semiconducting materials definitely are dependent on temperature, and their basic performance, how it is dependent on temperature effects. Similarly, any other variation in them also gets drastically affected by every degree rise in the temperature. So they should be always operated at low temperatures. That's why anywhere you take all the computers, whenever few computers are there in any lab, AC is always there to see to it that they are operated at low temperatures, because the heat generated affects the systems themselves. Even though there are fans associated, even though there are heat sinks associated, even though the casing is, all of them are maintained at low temperature. But still, if n number of computers are there, AC is a must, because to see to it that they are operated at low temperatures. All these effects, whatever we discussed with electrometers, are more sensitive than that with computers. So supply and common mode voltages must be as low as practical. Now supply voltage, different ways of connection we have studied, plus common mode voltages. Whenever there are multiple op amps which are used, in every case the common mode voltages for which are supplied to each op amp in the electrometer network should be as low as practical, because ideally there is AC is equal to 0. The common mode gain is 0. But practically AC is not 0. Practically common mode rejection ratio is not infinite. It is some number. So these things you should try to keep them as low as possible by properly connecting the pins to proper voltages. So that these common mode voltages, in chopper circuit we have seen how the common mode voltages are reduced. So similarly, to reduce the common mode voltages, proper care should be taken. And excessive output loading must be avoided. This is usually done whenever like these many number of components can be connected, usually that care is taken. So excessive connections are not allowed. If you want to do additional connections, then again the same care whatever is taken now has to be taken care with the elements or the components which you are using. So excessive output loading must be avoided because these factors affect bias currents. And once the bias currents are affected, the entire electrometer functioning gets affected. So whole accuracy and sensitivity, they are dependent on bias currents and the offset voltage. If these two are maintained at the appropriate levels, then rest of the things are easily taken care of. Next one, when switched gains are desired in a feedback current to voltage converter, ordinary solid state switches do not have high enough of resistance for electrometer circuits. Now, whenever the device is off, its resistance should be off, means it is an open circuit. So, some solid state switches, the switches which are used using solid state, basically the semiconductor switches, they don't offer enough of resistance. When the device is off, say suppose op amp is being used, which is connected with the solid state switch. So when it is not in use, there should not be any current flow. Basically here the attention should be given to, if the off resistance is off, means off, that means open circuit, then no current flows into that. But if there is even slight picoamperes of leakage current also is flowing into that, it affects the performance of the electrometer. So such things should be taken care of. Low cost commercial reed relays which have an open resistance greater than 10 terawatts are more appropriate. Now what exactly is this? Where the resistance is very, very high, tera ohms. So that amount of resistance, if it is there, definitely the current definitely will not enter this kind of a network. So the circuits which are used, the diodes for input protection should have low leakage, such as pad series. There is a series like these are to be used for this kind of a application, or the junction FETs of this number are connected as diodes. See, any transistor can be used as a diode by properly biasing it. by properly maintaining the other two junctions, keeping them at off. So usually such devices, especially the transistors, are used as fast switches, and they provide whatever the earlier off resistance, high off resistance they provide. So these are the requirements of electrometers.